I wouldn't say that's just Noche. I would just say in general, it's been kind of a lackluster effort. It feels like no contending or premier fight or event is really getting pushed too hard. We certainly don't get those fucking sick promos we used to get back in, like 2015, that's for sure.
Let's go back to UFC Noche. Big win for El Gran Chango himself. He's got to stay with the name. We talked about it before the fight. Massive win over Diego Ferreira. Another great win for him. He is on some kind of roll. Let's talk to Alexander Hernandez about the big win this past Saturday in San Antonio. Yeah, there he is. Hello, Alex. How are you?
Good, man. How are you doing?
Where are you? At the gym right now?
Yeah. I'm still in Austin right now. I drove to Austin yesterday. I'm working out at their Onnit Labs. I think it's called Correct Fitness now. But yeah, I just had to shake something out. I'm puffy. Got to get some of this dirt off me, just from enjoying the San Antonio cuisine for the last couple of days.
Oh yeah, it looks like there's like a weight thing right behind you. I don't even know what the name.
Yeah. There's rings and everything. We're actually outside. It's a big facility inside and outside. They got like the backyard, or they call it something like
Wow.
that. And it's
where do you have the phone or computer propped up?
Huh?
Where do you have the phone? Like, how are you? Where's?
Oh yeah, the only thing I could use on a squat lift.
I
I'm
love
talking
it.
about like the little securities for the squat bar.
It's a great shot. It looks great. Very
Yeah,
crafty on your part.
Looks like I'm doing something, man. Yeah.
For a guy who
Yeah,
doesn't like interviews,
trying
you
to
put some
sincerely get
time and
back
thought
to it.
into this. I like it.
I did take an extra moment. I do appreciate that. Yeah.
Were you annoyed that I asked you to come back on after telling us last week that you don't enjoy doing interviews?
No, I'm never annoyed by you, bro.
Okay.
I am, man. I am like despicably fatigued though, dude. Just the 2 and 30 is a lot, and I almost just wanted to call in sick today, but
Oh wow.
I don't know. I don't know how like Kevin Holland, Cerrone, they went on those like 5-6 fight streaks in a year. It's crazy. It's a lot. It's a lot on the system.
You feel it? Like you feel like your body's really tired right now?
I'm just like my nervous system. Like I got done with Chicago and I felt like a lunatic because you don't really sleep that night after the fight. You don't sleep way at night, and then you crash hard the night before the fight, and then the night of the fight. I'm an overthinker, so I find myself just kind of, reflecting on the fight, thinking about anything and everything, and I'm up smoking cigarettes on the balcony through the sunrise. Then the next day, generally catching up with some family and friends, kind of some spotty sleep, and then finally, like that second night after the fight, I crashed really, really hard, and so I'm kind of got my first great night's sleep last night, and yeah, the in between space with Chicago to this fight, because the announcement was already being made whenever we were leaving Chicago. It was almost just like there's just no real downtime for the nervous system, especially just being like a real psycho like I am. It's hard to kind of find some peace of mind. So I just I found myself just sort of redlining for the last month, really.
Wow. Okay, there's a lot there I want to ask you about, but fair to say, in the aftermath, you're done for the rest of the year? You need a break?
Yeah, I definitely just need to chill for a little bit. I need to get this neck sorted out a little bit. I don't have nearly any confidence in my left arm, and not to say that was when I reflect on the fight, I felt like I was overthinking and under engaging, and I'm really frustrated by that. And so some things I want to correct, and some of that just some mental adjustments, but I do really want to just address some issues in my neck and just get just kind of this like left side of my body reorganized.
What are you feeling right now?
It's just it's like a sense of detachment. Like if I were to do a pull up, my left lat's not engaged. If I try to hold my left arm up for too long, it wants to fall. It's just like a lack of like continuity through my left side.
And how long has that been bothering you for?
A bit over a year. It got really nasty before the Hollowbow fight. I had just an incident in practice, like what we call stingers, but a lot of times they're like herniated disc, and it essentially shut down that side for about 5 weeks of the camp. So we were just kind of tiptoeing around, and then getting through the fight was kind of tough. I did some PRP injections in my neck and some stem cells down the spine before the Hooper fight, and everything felt better. Certainly through like an 11-week camp, though, it's going to start to agitate again. And then just rolling right into this one. And I think again, just the nervous system just being on high alert. there's never a moment that really felt too confident. So I'd like to clean that up.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned about like overthinking and not engaging enough. Has that been something that has bothered you or plagued you throughout your career? Is that something that you really want to correct?
Well, a lot of times, I might early in the career, I'd say I was over engaging,
Mm.
and at times just not thinking at all. It was almost compensating the opposite way. I feel like I'm definitely like hit a level of professionalism where I know I can show up and perform. I just found myself in this fight. Um, it was a similar strategy to beating Hooper because even though they were opposites, they're kind of the same, and they're going to be really clunky steppers and over eager to get to me. And so rolling into a quick notice fight, a stick and move strategy made a lot of sense, and then really just letting him find his way into my power. I felt like he might pull back a little bit, but I thought that he would almost just try to just make it a brawl as much as he could, and that's what he was going for. And so I felt like he was kind of step into that dead space for me. And so, that certainly played out. But in order to kind of get to the place of performance, I guess I'm trying to be in, I almost got rid of like just hanging so much on the outcome. Like I don't um, almost surrendering the outcome. Like I try to have no expectation, no ego about it, and really not desire the result, but really like pour myself out into the work in the cage. And I feel like the work was underwhelming. I feel like I could have strung some things together a lot better. Again, I feel like I was overthinking scenarios and just under engaging in them. And so I'm happy that the outcome was there. And in a month, if I'm looking back at the numbers, I'll be happy to have the win bonus and everything and the knockout. But I um, I just would have liked to see myself perform better.
I have to say, I love how philosophical you are about your fights, your fighting style, the way you approach fighting. Is all this from you? Do you work with, we've seen guys work with sports psychologists, people like that, gurus, mentors. Is this all you're doing, or do you work with someone, especially as you're talking about, how you engage or don't engage these days?
Yeah, no, it's not a solo project for sure. I work with this buddy of mine, Andre Miller, who's a farmer and physical therapist in Oregon. I'm actually going to go visit Yoda this weekend, so I'm going to take off Thursday and Sunday to go visit him. I'll share some things on that, um, but yeah, he's this wizard out in the hills, and just attributes himself mostly as a farmer. But he's this like movement based physical therapist and trainer out there. I've known him since Texas, but we started to kind of work together. Shortly after the time, I moved to Colorado, and yeah, we bounce a lot off. He walks the walk better than anybody I've met in the sense of I feel like he's not just reading me like parables or scripts from like a book. The guy's been through it and got into it, and he's got some wisdom under his belt. And then just staying in it as long as I have, like I said, I really feel like this is all a war of attrition. And if you could be pretty reflective along the journey, you could definitely come out with some good notes and some insight about yourself and like how to chart the course. So having a guy like that to kind of help guide me and play some ideas off of, kind of came to this state of being, But yeah.
How and how long ago did you meet? Because that's not your typical mentor that you hear about.
No, yeah.
The farmer
He's
slash physical therapist.
yeah, he's actually helped me recapitulate a lot of things in my spine too, like do some real off the wall exercises to get like the spine organized, and like the warm up can look kind of funny in the back sometimes. Um, but man, probably I've known him for a while because he's from Texas also. But we started working together maybe 5 years ago. So it's not like even like since we worked together, it's just been a clean road. I've managed to screw up a number of outcomes along the way, but yeah, we've been working together for about 5 years.
Now, what about this scene where you said you go on the balcony, sunrise, smoke some cigarettes? Are you talking before the fight or after the fight?
Oh no, after the fight,
Okay.
for sure, man. Yeah, the American spirit, man. Tobacco's my guilty pleasure afterwards, dude. I love a post fight cig now, man. I don't know if it was this like this dastardly trip to Spain I just took. I was introduced to a spliff, it changed the game for me. It's
Wow.
like being a kid again. Yeah, yeah.
When you say
Smoking
spliff,
spliff,
what do you
nice little
mean? You
head
mean
rush.
marijuana? I'm not up to date with
Yeah,
the.
yeah. Spliff's a little half and half hand roll.
Okay.
And so I like to get a couple of those in afterwards, and then I walk away again from it. I've actually taken a nice sabbatical from weed for this Texas fight because they seem to not take it too lightly out here.
Okay.
And I've enjoyed taking the break. But dude, a spliff will get you right between the ears, keep you honest. And so I do like to I do like to have a celebratory spliff there afterwards. And sometimes the night of the fight it turns into like 5 as I'm just kind of sitting out there watching the sunrise.
Are you watching the sunrise, smoking your spliffs? I prefer to call them fatty boom baddies. Is that the same thing or?
Yeah, Dad, you call it whatever you want, man.
Okay.
One the same. So yeah. Pull up a chair. Pull up a chair. Dude. You call it what you want.
Are you alone when you're doing this, or are you surrounded by people?
Oh yeah. Usually by this point, everyone's falling asleep. Yeah.
Wow. What a scene this is. You're like an old cowboy in a Western movie here.
That's a fun way of thinking about it. Sometimes I feel like a lonely toad, but yeah, the reflected cowboy is a cooler image for sure.
And what about leading up to the fight? Much has been made of Carlos Prates liking to smoke like 10 to 15 cigs a day. Do you do that sort of thing?
No, certainly not, dude. I've got these like weathered bulbous sacs here, these tonsils in my throat that like can't handle shit anymore. You could already just hear how raspy I sound from just having a few the last couple of days. So I'm prone to like a sinus infection if you let me. So no, I generally try to, like I said, when I'm doing the herb thing, I'm still like I'm in college sometimes, just smoking volcano bags or I'll eat some edibles. But like I said, I trying to take a break from that for a bit, kick caffeine for the whole way through the fight also.
Wow.
It's really on this like clear state. And then afterwards, just like I said, celebratory spliff and that's it. But man, really trying to empty out for a little bit. No booze, no caffeine.
Why no caffeine, by the way?
No. Well, the caffeine initially started because, again, dude, I was so red line feeling after the Hooper fight and then just rolling right into this fight. I was waking up and also just being a skinny I immediately just started dieting again. So I was like low 70s, hanging out like between 70 and 72, which is pretty light. That's like, fight week light. And so I think my nerves was just higher and I was waking up with a higher heart rate, like just kind of anxious. And so drinking coffee just made me want to implode, made feel like my heart was going to fucking explode out of my chest. So
wow.
I was like, I don't need that. So I just wasn't drinking coffee, just going to the gym. And once I got going to the gym, I was fine. And then kind of getting that rhythm was cool. And ideally, I like to take a break from anything at some point. I hate the idea of just being dependent and having predictable routines. Because then before you know it, you start kind of becoming the predator yourself. Any prey stalking a predator is gonna track the routines and catch them. And so I almost try to create that like voice in my own head sometimes of not being too predictable and certainly not too dependent on any one or two things. And so yeah, a little surprise and change I think is good for the mind, good for the spirit.
As a result of this great run, are we sticking with Gran Chango? It sounds like this is the move.
Absolutely. And certainly going to do it. Yeah. Certainly going to do it more service next time as well, man. I like I said, overthinking and underengaged this fight. But just chalk it up. Grateful for their outcome. I mean, I truly wish I served a better fight. I feel like again I kind of overplayed the stick and move game, but it's okay. It's just intel. It's just data, and I'm excited to have my health and go roll into another one. Even having this conversation, kind of beating myself up about it, makes me just want to get another fight this year, just to go out on a higher note. But also a little bit of patience and a reset would probably make me perform better than just trying to run back in. So.
By the way, I don't know if you know this, but Diego's pretty good, and you stopped him in the second round. I mean, I wouldn't beat yourself up.
No. He's good, and he's a brawler, and so much of it was trying to just antagonize him. Not do what he wanted to do. And I feel like being a general jack that I can kind of exploit the areas that my opponents aren't as good at. You know what I mean? I'm not like necessarily a master in any one trade, so I can generally kind of play off of their weaknesses, I feel like. But again, they're just triggers that should have been pulled along the way, and I was just kind of watching myself not pull them, and it's just frustrating, So I'm always going to be a little critical.
I get it. The finish was brilliant. The elbow, the ground and pound. I actually thought it went on a little bit too long. Are you thinking that in the moment? Like,
Absolutely, man. It went on way too long, and you know, again, man, just call it call it the entire dude. You catch me on a sappy Tuesday for sure
No, I love it.
because I wake up and I look at I look at that and I'm mad at myself as much as I am the ref. I think that
Why are you mad at yourself?
because there's moments where with the correct composure, the ref should have stopped it. I should have stopped it next, and then there's a moment where you're like, man, this fight is over with, and I almost wish I just checked the ref because I don't know who he was waiting on to check or call the fight, and it did go on too long, and so I don't like seeing that. I don't even like being on the correct side of that,
Right. I had asked you about the relationship between you and Diego, and even like throughout the fight week, it seemed like there was some animosity there. How do you feel about him now?
I don't have any animosity towards him at all. I know, like afterwards, just being super gassed up with the fight. Had that interview with Full Send, just talking about lack of respect, and I felt that for sure. I had this, and you know what? Sometimes you like paint your own narratives and you send it to the moon, and maybe I am, maybe I'm not. But with Hooper, I felt like it was just like the polar opposite opponent, which was kind of an interesting thing to approach too. And I was kind of having fun with that idea of like, well, let's see how this goes versus that went with a similar approach to each. Hooper, young, long, gamey, and being a young guy was going to like overzealously press forward. I knew he was going to overzealously press forward. We all did, and so and he wasn't quite the threat that Ferreira's on the feet. Ferreira's got real knockout power. Hooper certainly, anyone catch a clean right hand, it's going to hurt you, but he was less of a threat in that department. But when we were in the cage and prior to the cage, just little interactions you have, micro interactions, you make macro reads off of them. I could see the fear in his eyes. I'm not saying he was scared of me or over respect anything. I'm just saying there was fear and maybe just a respectful amount of fear. In the cage, I could see the fear. Everyone was cheering and it was like, oh shit, we have to do this now. And I knew when he was going to reach, we could almost kind of exploit some of that overzealous fear. With Diego, he was kind of the older, savvier vet. And I don't know if it was maybe even the loss of Jackson or what, but I felt like he didn't have the same respect or fear at all. And at face-offs, it was almost, and even beforehand in the back, it was so nonchalant, almost like a cheekiness at face-offs. My coach felt it too. That he is going to be almost on the opposite end, coming forward too bullishly because he's fearless. And again, like I said, whether you miss high or you miss low, you're still missing, and they're still going to make the same mistake, and they both did, just coming in too recklessly, and it was really just that black and white. There's nothing emotional tied to it. I don't feel any animosity towards Diego or anyone on his team. I think his coach is legit. I think he's legit. I think I've been watching him for a long time, coming up in the Texas scene. It was just a teaser that we were slated to fight early on. I'm glad we didn't fight my first year in the UFC. Probably would have fucking taken me out. So, I don't have any ill will, and that's even why I don't feel good about all those extra shots. I don't have any animosity towards anybody in the game.
Afterwards, you made the call out of Michael Chandler. Love that idea. How confident are you that he accepts the challenge?
It's something that could happen. Yeah, I love that shit too. And I think it's something that could happen. And I think it's something that honestly can make sense for both of us. It can be like a sexy opportunity for either one of us if both corners are looking at it correctly. So I think, I certainly think that's a 2026 fight. And again, the only reason I would say that delay is just because I truly do want to clean up this left side. I feel like if I can get that back to par, I'll be as exciting and hold the expectations of what others are looking for and just what I would like to see out of myself. And with all that being said, man, if something juicy happens in like 6 weeks before the year's over, I'm healthy. So I'm back in the gym. I might just take it.
As far as the reason why you chose him, is there a specific reason? Is there a history there? Or is it just looking at the
no. There's always got to be history. No,
oh.
No.
There's no history?
Carry on too dumb of a joke, but no, he
I don't get it. I missed the joke. It went over my head.
There's no backstory, no history.
All right.
It's just look at top 15. It's just a stylistic match that's I think would be fun and that's been entertained around me for like over a year now. If I could just make my way there, and so I feel like we've breached those doors now that a call out's appropriate, and it's just a fun matchup.
I love it. I would love to see it. Could I ask, do you think, like in your heart of hearts, do you think he waits to see if Conor fights on this White House card and probably doesn't fight anyone?
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, that's the thing too. He's probably going to want something. He's deserving of like celebrity matchups, so I'm sure that that's something that he's looking at. I just wouldn't rely on Conor for anything if I were him. You know what I mean? He already got dropped twice on that, right? Weren't they slated twice and they both got canceled?
Well, one officially, but it's been a long road. They were supposed to.
Yeah, it's just been a really long road with him. I wouldn't depend on McGregor. And hey, I've never pulled out of a fight. He's going to make the same check either way. So
yeah,
let's see it through.
One talking point last week was the fact that all the UFC brass, they were heavily promoting this Canelo Crawford card, and the MMA fans were feeling like UFC Noche didn't get the attention that it deserved. Did you feel that? Do you care about that sort of thing? Do you pay attention to any of that?
No, I'm just a guy in his underwear trying to do his best to collect a check. So I'm not I'm not really paying attention to it. And I wouldn't just say, if we were going to pay attention to it, I wouldn't say that's just Noche. I would just say in general, it's been kind of a lackluster effort. And I don't know if it's just because there's so many promotions happening at once within the UFC, with the boxing, jiu-jitsu, the power slap, and everything else, that it's almost just the brand just stands on itself. Or if there was this idea after McGregor that it was like we can never have a star become bigger than the company. But it feels like no no contending or premier fight or event is really getting pushed too hard. Like DDP, Hamzat title or a Taporia title or any of it doesn't really feel like it's being wildly promoted. But I don't know, maybe if you look at the numbers, maybe it's selling all the same. So maybe they just don't even need to worry about it. And I don't know if it's like we don't want a fighter to be bigger than the brand, or if the brand could just stay on its own. But we certainly don't get those fucking sick promos we used to get back in, like 2015, that's for sure.
Does that bug you?
Again, I'm not the guy on the promo clip either way, so no matter what, I'm not getting shared in that shit. So
I remember you at the dais cutting mean promos on Donald Cerrone for the UFC on ESPN debut. You were there.
Yeah. I was there for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I wish I wasn't. No, it was
second. By the way, second longest active winning
I don't know
streak.
if they're doing promos like that though. Like the same, like they do stuff UFC Countdown, but the build-up's not the build-up it used to be for sure, man. Those build-ups used to be awesome.
Second longest active
I don't know if it's just
at 155.
What do you think about that?
What you just said?
Yeah.
I think it's very accurate. I mean, I just think there's a lot, and Dana White is being spread thin. And part of that is a testament to just how good the UFC brand is doing, so he doesn't have to be at every show and cut all these promos and do these interviews and whatnot. But yeah, of course, if I say people are calling me a hater, but like, are we really going to say that shows at the Apex, in front of 15 people feel the same as back in the heyday of 2015, 2016? Of course not. Look at that show on Saturday. That crowd was unbelievable. When Diego and John Silva walked out, it was great, but they're just...
it was insane.
It did not feel as big as the second Noche UFC last year, the Sphere one, of course, and even the first one at T-Mobile. It just felt like another show. It didn't feel like it had any sort of like special element to it. And I love that stuff. I like the pomp and circumstance. I like the...
No, everyone does. The flair, The flair gets you going, so I agree. Maybe we can do more. Maybe we'll write them a nice letter or send them an email or something. And
I'm sure they'll be well received. Should we write it together from you and I?
Oh, dude, collab.
Yeah.
Collab with me, dude.
I just want to ask you before I let you go, and I appreciate you doing this in the midst of your workout or your recovery. There's a big topic. It's in your weight class. And by the way, I just want to say, I don't know if you heard me, second active longest winning streak at 155. It's Patty, and then it's you. I do believe.
Yeah, that's nuts, huh? Who would have thought?
Yeah, so like you're right there. Ilia Topuria, the champ at 155. Terrence Crawford. What do you think?
Oh yeah. I thought I caught a little clip of that. I I mean, Terrence Crawford all day, dude. I think Terrence Crawford's a bad boy. And you know what, dude? I'm ashamed to say I was getting pulled in so many directions after the fight, just being, at home and having 1,000 cousins and uncles and aunts, just, believe it or not, Mexican. So I missed so much of that fight, but I think Terrence is outstanding, and I think he's in a place, man, despite being 37, where he just wants it more, and he was just kind of in a place. I think that's certainly what showed, if anything, against Canelo. And Topuria, of course, is as hungry as can be, but I think Crawford can match that hunger. And Crawford's certainly a more skilled boxer. I mean, it would be kind of preposterous to think he's not. So, yeah, I think it's a really fun fight. I think that could be all the same hype and promise as the McGregor Mayweather fight. But I think Crawford, I think Crawford would get it done in the end. But I think it's a promo worth having. I think we should do it.
We've made up for some lost time here over the past week, Alex. I mean, 2 really great chats to make up for no chats for the last few years. So
yeah. We'll get another one in, dude. I'll be a little tuned up, a little less sappy. Like I said, you're catching me on a on a somber Tuesday here almost.
I like Sappy Chango. It's good. Keep doing your thing, man. Much respect. Congrats on the win, and get well soon. I hope you're able to correct everything very quickly.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks for the time, Michael.
There he is, Alex Hernandez. What a guy, straight shooter. I was thinking of GC there, where he was talking about the cigs, ripping the cigs. I felt like I felt like
actually the spliffs. Kid knows ball. I was getting excited back here.
I could just see you perking up. I could feel your presence perking up.
Oh, there's nothing like a good spliff. Him talking about watching the sunrise. Yeah. Those 5, he was like, you were like, Fatty Boom Batty. He's like, don't care what you call it. Just pull up a chair and enjoy a few. It's great, man. These last 2 interviews and the performances, I'm becoming a big El Gran Chango fan.
Me too. He's back in our lives. It's great. What a guy. What a character. Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up, leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. And while you're here, do check out the rest of the channel. We've got live shows and full interviews, clips, and a whole lot more. We're doing big things here, and we appreciate your support very much.